What is the best merchant cash advance debt relief option? How do you resolve this issue of cash flow, profitability loss, not having enough margin? You need to increase it, not being able to pay yourself enough of a salary or at all, and you're foregoing opportunities that you should be taking. And there's plenty more that keeps going on as you circulate this merchant cash advance debt in this cycle over and over. You're on this hamster wheel. You don't know if you'll be able to keep your doors open. You're on the verge of missing a payment. You have missed a payment and or more. You are in default or looking to get into a default, and plenty more things you might be in right now and or will evolve into. It's very common to see a lot of business owners go through that. I'm about to show you on the screen what you can do, what you can't do if you have an expectation of refinancing, consolidating your position, or more than one, multiple positions, what that could look like. Could you get that? Could you not? Are you ready to? Do you need a new loan or not? You have to restructure and lower the debt threshold, overall total monthly debt obligations you have going towards the MCA debt. And there's plenty more. And I'll get on the share screen in a second, show you right here on my laptop. But before I do, my name is Michael, and I'm a business funding expert, a business loan broker expert, someone who also analyzes businesses, looks at them in depth, understands their problems, constraints, pain points, knows how to fix, grow, and scale them. I've been doing things in credit, cash flow, collateral, liquidity, equity, real estate in the mix, and then some. I do this at a high level. I'm an introvert, very much more analytical, cerebral. I'm more the back-end partner, somebody who would rather review financials, credit reports, personal and business credit reports, bank statements, debt schedules, do a profitability, cash flow analysis, many things with numbers, mathematical. I love systems. I'm more of a writer than I am on video, but I want to give you the most value that I can. Just let you know that I'm also a very sincere person, very loyal. I'm a Libra if that says anything. I'm more of the harmony person. Less words, more action, very trustworthy, reliable, accountable, responsible. I have myself together, personal growth and development, self-mastery. So knowing funding, yes, I have that at a high level. Not just requirements, what do you do here? What's the process look like? Looking at this on the back end as much as I can, reviewing this on the front end, doing more. And then also knowing business at a high level. Customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, lifetime gross profit value. There's a lot of different metrics, numbers, net profit, gross profit, true net, true gross. Are you right where you need to be with your margin? Do you need to do more there? ROI. There's a lot of things. When I tell you that I analyze businesses, I look at everything with and without debt. And just before I get into the share screen, very kindly and nicely, just know when I say this, it comes from a great place, is I don't want my energy and time wasted. As an entrepreneur, I do not want my energy and time wasted. I've had people who don't ever do anything, don't show micro and or macro commitments. The least thing they can do, they don't do it, and enough of it. Others will, and there's no problem. And I'm not the issue. I'm not the problem. It's that people self-sabotage. They self-defeat themselves. Their character, they're obnoxious, naive, egotistical, stubborn, ignorant. And not every person. So I just want you to know that I don't waste my energy and my time. I'm very effective at what I do. I have multiple businesses, digital businesses too, and I help people. And I've done things in different niches, ventures, and I do this at a high level. And we don't always have to be on this. I don't actually do that with each person because I have my processes, my systems, and the right amount of automation. I can do this via email. I have a form on my site, by the way, that I'll link you to down below. In a moment, we'll show you on screen what option and options are available. So please stick with me. And filling out that form, I can then analyze, understand better because I've seen a lot, and that'll give me enough to go off of. Are you current on your payment and payments? Are you not? So depending on that, I'll understand better. And when you're not current on your payment and payments, you'll likely have to do a debt restructure. That's most oftentimes what will happen is when you're not current, is you're already behind on a payment or payments and you're close to a default or already in one, like debt restructuring by lowering the total monthly debt by 45 to 75%, 50 to 75% plus, more or less. And there's more to this I'll cover here in a second on the share screen, so please stick with me. I just want to make sure you understand this. And that refinance consolidation might not be on the table. But ultimately, again, if it does take this, at times it makes sense. And for clarity, don't think that I'm this person I'm more of like the mad scientist guy, like behind the scenes, looking at things and reviewing more, and rather not be doing any of the front end stuff here. But I have a lot of experience and value to give where others may lead you in the wrong direction. So I want to make sure you're going in the right direction and knowing that you have a purpose, a vision, governing principles, values, mission, hopefully, and what you're doing for your people, your community, your employees, your customer base, your community, your city, and doing more. And I see all of that. And there's a larger vision behind it and development behind it and cause and effect. So I see all of that in the purpose. So again, I just wanted you to know that because people are tire kickers and they do what they want to do what you want to do. I just know business at a high level. Who am I to tell you differently? And have done things in different spaces, in equity projects, built business plans, high-level business plans, high-figure business plans, lower, mid-tier, small mom-and-pop shops. I've done quite a bit. Reorganized businesses, cash flow, profitability, understanding at a deeper level. And so just please don't waste my energy and my time. I don't want to be circulating. I'm not chasing you. I'm not going to be that person. And just adhere and do it. If that's what you're doing, do it. And what I recommend to do, go with that. The other thing too is if you want the best process where it's unlike what most people do, or they just send you an email and tell you to submit things without understanding what's best, this process is a lot different because what you can do to get started, if you're doing like a debt restructuring, for example, it can be a refinance situation where it's as simple as gathering the pieces, understanding by submitting a form, by me analyzing that, understanding, asking for documents, or it can be a different process to start with. And I then reach out and let you know about more things in an email, and then I'll send you documents. But when you're going through like debt restructuring, if you can't refinance or even a few other pieces, you could do something where you'd communicate with a principal and be able to speak to them. And then after that stage, when things make sense, you can then move to a call with a payment analyst. So you'll better understand your situation and what you would be getting. And you have more questions, you can ask them because they'll have more and they'll be able to answer that and even answer it even better. So it's not like you're being pushed to do something you don't want to be doing. Unlike you see with many other processes, this is much more simpler, hassle-free, and very streamlined and easy to go through. So I'm going to get on the share screen now and go over this with you. Okay, so I have this document here we will go over, and I'll have this page too. So if you are watching from here, you'll already see this. If you haven't landed on this page, underneath this video, likely the one you're watching now, right here it says click here to see. When you click right there, it should open up this document and or something similar if I add, subtract to. And on the right is the questionnaire form. This is not an application. Again, it is not an application. This is for me to better understand what you have so that I can also vet out and filter, pre-filter, and understand what I'm also getting involved with and to see if there's a good fit to things. And this is how you want to begin with a lot of things. So this form here will ask for your name, your best email, your phone number, mobile preferred, time in business, years or months, please specify. So there's just a number, and I have to go looking for the age of the business because I will look for things like that. I will understand who is this person just on the front end, just seeing, okay, social media presence, is this them or not? Is this their company? Where could they be found on LinkedIn or somewhere else and or somewhere else? So I do that because I care about who I am helping as a person and in business. It's not all about business to me. Like I said earlier, I have myself together, self-mastery, personal development, self-growth. That matters most to me. Well-being in many ways. Mind, the body, spirit, the soul, in many ways. So again, here, time in business, how much MCA debt or MCA-like debt do you have? How much other business debt do you have? Total business debt restructuring desired amount. Are you current on your MCA payment and payments? Because that will also tell me quite a bit. If you couldn't refinance, consolidate this underneath a bank term loan, an SBA loan, and we needed to focus first on lowering the total debt, restructuring with an attorney-led debt restructuring team, a specialty law firm that's focused, that's the best to help you do this, then we start there before any new loan and loans are serviced. And you don't have enough cash flow, the credit, there's a few things you can't refinance, consolidate, you can't move this over, you can't afford to. That's a whole different topic. So here, that'll tell me. So if you are behind on a payment or payments, about to be on the verge of missing a payment or payments, you might not think that just yet. I've had that situation with clients who I've spoken to, and they didn't think they'd miss a payment, and then there you go, they're on the verge, or they already missed the payment. So what do we do then? Were you prepared? Did you brace yourself for that impact? And if you are missing payments, you're in default or close to being in default with more, okay, where do we go from there? So if you are about to miss a payment, on the verge of, you are behind on your payment and payments, you're in default or close to being in default, a lot of the times the debt restructuring makes most sense. And even if you are current on your payment and payments, it could still make sense to lower the financial burden, and not just financial burden, but in many ways to keep the peace up here and in our daily lives as well as in business, what we carry over. How fast do you need to get started? The business industry, business name. Please describe in detail your hardships you and your business is dealing with. How bad is cash flow, plans, etc. Be as specific, please. What's wrong? What's the primary constraint? What's holding you back right now? What do you need more available in cash flow? What would that be used for if you had it? How much would you be able to budget if these MCAs were knocked down like 45 to 75%? How much can go towards the MCA debt? What can you afford to budget? What you're paying now versus what you can afford to budget. There's more to that, but I'll just leave it as it is right now. And again, this form, please fill it out. Or if you land on this page where it's just the whole video and then underneath it, you can click a button and it takes you to the form. There might be that too. And a lot of the times when you debt restructure, there's no minimum FICO score that is needed mostly. And that's really it. There's no minimum FICO score that is needed. So you're not getting a new loan. So you don't need your credit to be subpar, subprime, 800. Yeah, that'd be better. It gives you more flexibility when you look for other options outside of the MCA space. And the whole point of it is to get out of that, to help you boost your profit and profitability of the business, the margins, ROI, net free cash flow, capital expenditures, EBITDA, SDE. You can take more of a salary. You have employees you need to bring in. How much will you have to afford to pay them? And per year, how are you paying them? And what are you not paying yourself? And how much profit are you actually taking after you reinvest and invest into the marketing and the advertising, payroll, rent, and other things? So those are the things to pay closer attention to. And there's much more in overhead and expenses to pay attention to. And so you have no collateral needed, no upfront out of pocket fees, no negative impact to your personal or business credit in many scenarios. It's in a lot of them. And you'll complete the questionnaire form here, and I'll also give you a free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist to get you approved for funding faster in the right service and services without making those mistakes over and over and over. So you'll have this page right here, debt restructuring. If you're eligible, you can see more there. And if an MCA debt consolidation refinance scenario would work, you can see that there. There's even a document here. And I can even email you too uh, what would work best. And this says updated for 2025. So whenever you're watching, this could be current to 2026, 2027. And so just to let you know, that's not just fixed on that number. And so back to this document, MCA debt relief and debt restructuring option. Note, please bookmark, save this document as well as the page before this so you can refer to it now and in the future. Blog post version is at the very bottom. This will be a tremendously valuable resource that's up to date and things others don't share with you. Remember, you're getting a dedicated expert and person as well as the very best team with a custom tailored plan to best fit your needs. Please read all the way through. Don't rush. It's going to be super revealing, and I think you'll come to appreciate what you get that others don't show you this amount of. And you have to be careful with a lot of companies out there because they might be misleading you. They might be doing things unethical. Might not be the best company in how they do this and how they support you and how monitoring goes on, the support that you get overall through the process after graduation and what happens next. So you want to have a smooth transition. And again, be careful of everything else that is out there because I have people that come to me too, and I've probably been the third person. And a lot of people come to me, and it's because of who I am as a person and why I am the way I am. I'm just a simple person, not materialistic. I like to fish, actually love to fish a lot these days, and just be around my family. And I know what hardship looks like working in different industries in the past, in 9 to 5, warehousing, construction, manufacturing, actual field positions, uh, in a ramp agent role, courier position for administrative dispatch. Did not like those things as well as a few others, but sometimes we have to do the things we don't like. And this was many years ago. And then doing financial logistics for a huge contracting company servicing HP and others in the vicinity. I stayed there for post academic stability reasons, studied chemical engineering for a bit, went through business, got my degree there. And there's a downturn. I was underpaid, undervalued. 50 plus people were leave. Unfortunately, I'm one of them. I have to go back on unemployment benefits and food stamp cards. It was one of the hardest times. And so I had to say, am I going to take another job, another career, more certifications, more school? It's time to do something else, build a business. And you build it from the ground up and it's your baby. And you start investing in the other things. You have things that run for you even on autopilot so you can do other businesses. You have other people to manage that business. And a lot of mine are digital based. They're all digital based because of the expenses and overhead is a lot lesser. Cost to fulfill, cost to create, cost of goods sold, cost of sales, cost of service, a lot less. Keep more of the margin. And if that's something you're interested to, by the way, if you're done with what you're doing now and you want something else or you want to add something on top of what you're doing, I show people what I do. I've been in the health space with vitamins and supplements, pain relief creams, ergonomic desk chairs, seat cushions, and more. Built my personal and business brand. And I went into the e-business, e-marketing, make money online to now finance for many years, funding, and in different ways I do it in the finance space. So if you want to learn how I do this online and have proven systems running for you around the clock on autopilot, 24/7 marketing and selling done for you as well, so you can do more of what you want to do, not have to trade your time for money, have all this upkeep, management, control costs, and inventory, equipment, building. You don't have to have all that with the digital business, the one that I'm going to show you how to do it with digital products, higher margins, higher profit margins. So I'll leave you more information on that down below too, if you're watching this like on YouTube or somewhere else, and there's room for that. So you can learn more. I have a group dedicated to helping people who want to learn how to do this. I've helped a lot of people who are in different positions, automotive businesses, trucking, construction, restaurants, Amazon FBA, and things like that. And I don't recommend any other business besides the one that I have going on because I've analyzed businesses, just so you know. So I know what I'm talking about. When I look at the overall business structure, framework, foundation, growing, scaling, limitations, CapEx, I look at a lot of things. So again, I'll leave more information down below. You can join the group for that. I also have a funding group, but I'll primarily leave my group if you want to join what I'm doing online. And it's not in the funding space. I help people who want to get into funding too, as agents, referral partners, business loan brokers. People will come to me and I'll send them emails and things like that. And I'll show them resources and how to get started. So this will be tremendously valuable. And please read all the way through. Don't rush again. And then I have my name here, just a little quick introduction. MCA debt sucks. It really does. I know what funding is like, and then also doing business credit cards and things like that. A lot of times it's far better, but you just have to manage it well. And service, most MCA debt clients will get uh, quick introductions are in order. So before I go into the service, it's where I'm going into quick introductions in order. I've been helping people get out of the MCA debt that they've had in multiple ways. There's reverse debt consolidations, MCA debt refinance consolidation, there's debt restructuring, there's knocking them off with asset-based lending, real estate. There's a few other options. And I've seen just about every scenario, not all of it. And so truly I've seen the ups and downs. Really, I do. As somebody who runs multiple businesses, I understand it. So even more importantly, you're getting a person who truly has your best interest at heart and will be there to help you in the best way possible. Again, I'm very kind and nice. Just please don't waste my energy and my time. I'm not speaking to you if you're already that in. I can sense it and you might still do it anyways. That's not a good character and a good characteristic trait and somebody who should be doing those things. And again, we can do a lot of this via email. So when you submit things, I'll respond in an email. I'll likely send you something like this again, so just so you have it and more if I have another document. And I'll break down the process too. And like, here's the next step. If you saw this and you're ready to get started after you've seen it, please respond to this email and I can send you these documents that will be needed. And then you just fill them out and just send them back. A lot of people do that. And believe me, I have a lot of trust. I just don't know if I can trust each person who is a business owner because a lot of people who are in business should not be in business. They should not be in capitalism. If it's you, hey, it's been acknowledged or you didn't acknowledge it. Okay, well, what do I do now that I have? And I have done it. What's the next thing for me to do? What's your plan A? What is your plan B? You never had a plan B. So you got to look at those things and really assess not only the business, but what you're doing. And as a person, you are getting someone very trustworthy and reliable, accountable and responsible, etc. Personal growth and development, like I said, along with self-mastery is something I've built for many years as an entrepreneur. So on to you. What most people think they will get when they want to wipe out their MCA debt. I'm sure you think of refinance, consolidation is usually the first thing that comes to mind. Squirrel, SBA, squirrel, bank term loan, but I can't get approved. Over 80% of businesses, even more than that now, can't get approved from a bank. And so we have to keep relying on the MCA debt. What do you expect we get out of this? And then we have to go into a bank term loan, but our credit isn't where it needs to be. There's more of a fixer-upper here in many ways. But with that development, you grow better as a business person and getting the right analyzation and understanding your business better and seeing, okay, what do we need to do better the next time? Do we need to scale back? You have too much of this. You got to lower your equipment costs. We're going to increase our price. We have better pricing strategy. We can afford to raise pricing because then we'll indoctrinate, we'll grandfather our current customers. We'll just make a mention of this. We're going to change our funnel process. It's not the lead flow that's the issue. It's not the quality of leads. It's just what happens after the conversion of a lead. Do they go to an appointment? From where are they landing on? Is it the ad creative? Is there no ad creative? Is the messaging incorrect? Who you're targeting after they submit this Calendly link with you, or however the sales process works with you, whatever you do, is it a DM? Is it something else? Or no Zoom call, no meetings, it's just on the DM. And then after they submit something, they go to like a video sales letter page or something to warm them up so they can get prepared for their meeting, so they get more value from you, so they can actually buy into you because that's what they're buying into. And then you drip out emails just so you build more of your personal journey. relatable stories and content that is helpful to them. So there's more to this. And I've built out a lot of funnels. I've done a lot of digital marketing. So I'm also a digital marketing strategist, built email marketing sequences for people. I've done a lot, websites, you name it, automation, systems, math. That's my thing. That's what I do a lot of. And so you're not alone. Everybody does. Heck, I did once too. However, most people with MCA debt will not qualify for refinance consolidation and or it doesn't make sense to get a new loan just yet. So I do have clients who don't get a new loan and they know they shouldn't, or it took them a little bit to understand that. And believe me, I've seen a lot of businesses go down under. They're on the verge of going down under. There's no help for them in sight. They got into the wrong business, the wrong partnership. At the end of the day, if you're not increasing your business knowledge, not just what you do as a technician, but stepping aside and looking at it from the finance, from the overview of business understanding. Like these are the reasons you get into a lot of problems with business. And if you know it at a high level, but you're still in this issue and there's something else, and there's an outlier, and there's not even an outlier, I can understand that this just happened. Things change, economy changed. It's not just all the economy though, and getting yourself into these repeating debt issues. And so it doesn't always make sense to get a new loan just yet. So we can hold off. We could go through the restructuring. You graduate. Let's get yourself into a bank term loan. Now we can. We're here now. Here's the qualifications. Or just not yet. Hold off. You don't need that debt. Let's go back your business. You gotta manage this, upkeep this better, change this part of the operations, the investment cash flow, financial cash flow, dividends, equity you're giving. Oh, well, too much concentration on this product, bulk units, these products in my restaurant, and I have so much in this in inventory. We go and waste this product, and then we got to refuel the product. It's not about refueling that product, it's about filtering your products a little bit more precisely, having more a little bit left over for those customers who do come buy that, but the data tells you they're not buying so much of that. So you got to understand a lot of things and not just grow haphazardly or when you're not supposed to grow into another location or whatever you are doing. So I've seen a lot of this stuff, and there's much more. And well, first, to get a bank term loan line of credit combo, which we can do underneath one application, if possible, or one over the other. If one you can get approved for while the other you can't, or one makes sense for you to take and the other one doesn't just yet or at all, and you want more cash flow, a line of credit would be helpful for those times where you're in a pinch. Something comes up, the cost of this product, tariffs of this, and you need to balance this. You got to pay off this thing that'll be due in 30 days. Contracts here, you need to have some leftover liquidity. Like I get it. There's a lot more. And or even an SBA 7A loan won't make sense. Your industry specific underwriting, it takes longer, or there's a lot of other things. Just doesn't make sense right now to do. It takes major requirements, and not to say the amount of paperwork and more needed, but here's what it takes to get a bank term loan at the very least to refinance, consolidate. If you needed a new loan and it made sense with stronger cash flow or of like a 1.15x or even 1.25 debt service coverage ratio, personal and business, I can do both, and we usually do both, and I can look at both individually, so that ratio, and other times you might see it more or less, but that's commonly what you'll see. So if there's not enough debt right now, or there's too much debt and you need to get a new loan on top of the debt, likely you'll have to clear those balances first. You have over to, a lot of banks will like to see you clear off everything, and your cash flow pattern in history doesn't look clean enough. They're not taking a chance. And a lot of times you're starting to see that more. And you're starting to see, well, they don't want to do anything over 250, over 100,000. And this is the type of business we don't want to do this in, because they're going to get themselves into this issue again. And now they won't be able to service the new debt. So will you be able to service the debt? That's what the lenders want to know. What happens if you don't service the debt? What are the issues that rise because of it? You have a 680 credit score on all three consumer credit bureaus, followed by FICO 2. You'll see the other FICO scoring guidelines too, and a handful of things that lenders do look at, that I look at. And just to see and compare and contrast differences, what's reporting here versus there. We need the full picture. But with 680 credit on all three consumer credit bureaus, 35% and less credit utilization is needed. Too much credit card debt, too much of that going up. the high balances, and you're seeing a lot of that, and expenses increasing. And so you have to factor that in, that it's harder now for people to get approved, but 35% and less credit utilization is needed. Strong EBITDA profitability. I would normally go off and use EBITDA instead of seller's discretionary earnings, and I can derive those numbers. I'm not going to get into that now and what those numbers fully mean and what the analysis of EBITDA and SDE is and understanding the profit, operational profit of the business. What am I looking at in cash flow, the multiplier on the business if you were able to, excuse me, have to sell off the business for whatever reason you're motivated to do it. There are many things, or in acquiring a business, there are many things, profitability and more factors. Then maybe it's a consolidation. So if you don't have the profitability, historical returns, or projected cash flow and projected profits can't overcome the loss in profit or are on the verge or just below, it's very difficult to say why is that happening? One, as in like you're going to be able to increase profit, like when we know that this has been the issue. You can't just magically, if you have a loan, all the time just say if things aren't in order. Well, we know based on the market analysis, based on your industry, this is what will happen. So you have to be careful a lot of the times. And more factors, and maybe it's a consolidation into a bank term loan, but usually clients are way too over leveraged and need to reduce, restructure, and then later consolidate. There are also family offices to this. So if you have a lot of MCA debt, like 500,000 and above or over 500,000, that term can be a lot longer for you to go over and get a loan over many years, but that might not make sense either for you to do, or it does. That's the only option, or it's the best option, and you work with that. But also getting a new loan and just knocking some of these off and moving it over is like now you have new debt you have to service and the interest on that and what carries, even if it's not like these merchant cash advances with the cost of funds and more, you still have to factor in what you're losing. And you could be paying a lot more over time. And so clients are usually over leveraged and need to restructure, then later consolidate or just restructure, graduated, you're off these MCAs. They were negotiated on your behalf by the specialty law firm attorney-led debt restructuring team. So you don't have to do that yourself, and you shouldn't have to do it yourself. I've had people go out there and look for things, and they come back, or they did it themselves, and you could get lucky. But paying and absorbing all those fees and extra additional stuff, and not being known through someone else that will connect you with the proper team who will look over your file, monitor, understand, connect with you, and understand that this is what you need to do. So by doing it on your own, you could be spending a lot of money, time, energy, and not having the comfort level, the exit plan, what happens after that's done, and monitoring what's going on. If you're ready for something new and you have everything all in house, being looked at, a couple, being looked at your file, that's what you need to consider. And there are more things. So I will figure this out with you too. Don't worry. You have an expert in your corner in the funding space, in business, and as a person who wants to do what is in your best interest at heart as a human, on people over profits, person first, and in your business. But in case you wanted to see the FDIC bank term loan and even SBA 7A situation, just so you know, see here, there's a hyperlink. So you can see I have the document there. So if you can't now, when you know you are ready, there you go. And then we can reconnect, send me an email. It doesn't have to be a call all the time. Like I get busy too, and I'm not just here answering calls. Like I get how you may think traditionally. And yes, I do run digital businesses and I understand like even those I don't have to be on the phone with people. Things are passive automated for me. I send emails. People can click on something and they can go purchase a product or they're in my group and or in my group in different ways. So at times it makes sense to do this. But again, like I said, I'm not wasting my energy and time with you if you are that person who sneakily, because I've had those people and just, yeah, I'm going to do it, but never does. And then they say I'm going to do something, but never does it. Stick to what you say. It tells me a lot about you as a man, as a woman, when you say something and you can't deliver. Oh, but no, 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 no. Mm-mm-mm. We're not going there. Yes, I understand something came up, it happened, but now again and again and again and again and again. Nope. Nobody wants to work with you. and I'll very likely not want to work with you because I have a high standard. I'm not saying you have to have that. I'm not this, ooh, no. I just know myself and I know who I want to help. And I don't need to do this on volume. I don't do this like with 100 clients. I could get more and help more, but my energy and time is valuable and I limit it to people that I want to, not need to. Okay. And so less volume, increased lifetime value, customer acquisition costs lesser, however this is being done, but LTV, how can we help you do more? What other services, what other value can I provide you? And you're in my ecosystem. You need to understand culture, ecosystem, environment. These might all be new things and new terms. And I'm telling you, I'm not just a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a system mastermind, cerebral. I don't want to talk. I can. I just learned the skill and I ethically, yes. And I want to get to know more about you and what you're doing. And it doesn't always have to be a call. It could be an email. You saw me here, send me a text. Or we did do this because it made sense to. But again, I'm not wasting my energy and time doing these things when you don't show up and do things correctly. You go against, like, I'm not going to sweet talk you to get into a service because I want to make money. That's not what I'm doing this for. This isn't even my primary business. I can drop this any day, and I should probably drop it because a lot of people just think. A lot of people self-sabotage. They're self-defeating. I'm better than this. I've better standards. Have other people help you, but you won't get the best effect and the best help from a genuine person, somebody who has no business being in this industry, but I want to help people. And I thought about doing something else. I saw the community. I saw the vision. I saw what you're able to do to help people. Without you, this family wouldn't be able to have what they have. And you're the one in the community who does this. So striving for more. And introducing MCA debt restructuring, usually your best path forward. There's a very strong debt restructuring and settlement team that is available and that I will connect you with that works with merchant cash advances, attorney-led debt restructuring teams with decades of experience, or attorney-led debt restructuring team with decades of experience. All situations are unique, so yours won't be the same as someone else's term-wise, what's on that contract, what you'll see on it. And I'm not just throwing this in your direction. Again, there's a simple process, hassle free. You connect. After I've seen all this, fill out my form. I understand it better if we had a conversation. Cool. We don't always have to do this though. I've had people who just send me in an email and they move forward. And knowing that maybe your time is as valuable too. And so you're like, I can't be on, Michael, I saw your stuff. You're genuine. I'll send you the documents. I just had a question on this. Can we, okay, clarity reasons. This was already something you saw. You saw the document, okay? Great. Look at the document. And I won't go too much into everything today. I'm just going to give you a glance over a few things, but you can go through this. And again, go through it. I don't want to, if I have to do this, like ask you if you looked at the, I just didn't have the time. So you'll never have the time to do anything. It's been 2 days, 3 days. Oh, you don't care so much about it. What you're telling me is you don't care about what I have to do. You don't care about me. So why should I care about you? If I ever get on this with someone, you've done something right. I'm not, oh, no, I'm telling you that I just don't do that. I have large scale projects, I have huge projects, projects that I've had to turn down big time, $1 billion valuation plus projects because of my energy and my time, right? It's valuable and I don't need to get involved in all that because it's taking more energy and time to do it too. And I have other things I want to focus on. So here you'll see that all situations are unique, but you may be able to get a customizable plan where reasonably expected to see payments drop by an average of 40 to 75%. So how much in total monthly debt obligation do you have of the total current balance? What was it originally? Have you reconciled? Have you done a remodification or a modification and lowered your payment and payments for one or multiple MCAs? How much so? How much did it drop? And seeing how much of the total remaining or how much in total you can have drop down of your total monthly debt obligations and have an affordable weekly, biweekly, or monthly payment plan where it doesn't normally have daily, but weekly, biweekly, monthly, depending on how you get paid and payroll and all these things that make most sense to you. And it's reasonable, but dropping that payment. So when I ask you, what can you afford to budget? Like you should be able to tell me what you have in total MCA debt going out every month like that. And it doesn't have to be exact numbers, like to the decimal, to the one, to the tenth. You don't have to know like it has to be 10,998, and tomorrow it could be just okay, 10,900. Oh, it's to 10,200, but you said to 10,000. Okay. But more precise is better. And then dropping that payment total monthly over how many MCAs? What are those MCAs? What are these companies? What is their threshold? What are they willing to do? Knowing that I've seen this before, what they're willing to do in negotiation, bring to the table. So there are all those things. So if right now you can't stomach dropping down half of that payment and then another half, so you have to pay, like if you're paying, let's say 12,000, and then we drop that down to 3,000 to 4,000, let's say between 3 to 5,000. Can you afford to pay anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000? Let's say 3,500 to 5,000. Would you be in that range to be able to pay for the debt restructuring program? You're not negotiating all that. It's done on your behalf. Why would you want to do it? You can cause yourself problems in alerting things that you shouldn't be doing. And so, can you afford that? Oh, well, hmm, I have a few things I have to do. That's a better answer. Like, that's the kind of answer. Like, yes, because I can then right now, but I will drop this down so I can afford to make the payments. What's more important, getting out of this or continue to be on this shark infested interest, shark infested MCA space, loan shark, revenue based MCA shark space? I'm saying not all of them are that way, but that's usually what it is and what you're paying on them. And that's what you have to keep relying on. Making payroll, it's not even being used correctly. Once used for the right reasons, now it isn't. You're not able to ROI this. The benefit doesn't exceed the repayment anymore. You factor rates, and then what you're paying on this on top of this, and then you have this other MCA. Like it holds back your cash flow growth. And when I look at bank statements and so much, I'm like, they should not even be doing this, not even reporting this. Like that's not even taxable. Where this isn't like what? Like they have their whole foundation of their business wrong. They're growing incorrectly. I would have done this if I took over the business. I would have done this, this, this. I would have had this operationally. I would have had this to manage better. I would have had this maintenance and preventative maintenance in position. I then would have taken this and funded this project to offset the cost of this. So I have much more liquidity, cash flow relief, and I have an extra 25% in cash flow to use towards a project that I'm going to be coming up on. I have these government contracts where I need to prove that I have. Like, there's a lot more to pay attention to. And using MCAs correctly, if you've been using them incorrectly, there's a lot more. And taking them just to make payroll and for payroll, that's one of the worst, if not the worst reasons. And I get it. Things come up, maybe things change, and you've had to do that, or it's always been like that. You just aren't don't have the education enough to understand business and business at a high enough level. That's just what it is. It's just understanding it more. It's okay. We've all been there. I've been there. And so you see that right there. Unique, customizable plan. Keywords, customizable plan. That's what you want to have. We're reasonably expected to see payments drop by an average of 40 to 75% plus, excuse me. To give you an idea of what can be done, if anything, I will need you to fill out a debt restructuring application and business debt schedule, which I can send you in time. So when we go back and forth in email, I can send you everything at once if you would like. Or what I do too is I send everything without the documents attached and then looks good. Okay, ready to move forward. You answer back to my email and or text. All right, let me send you the documents. Please have them filled out as soon as possible. Don't mess around with that. Please don't be, oh, well, it took me 10 days and because for no good reason. And I'm not saying I won't be here to help. It's just I'm paying attention to what you are not saying. I'm paying attention to what you're doing. And I don't want that kind of like wishy-washy. No. And so that'll be submitted as a few other things that I'll ask for. To be sure, in almost all instances, this can be reduced. Short-term payments and get the face value of the MCA debt reduced is by more than 25% on average. So again, let me say that. To be sure, in almost all instances, we can reduce the short-term repayments and get the face value of the MCA debt reduced by more than 25% on average. So the team in terms of we, that team that'll be on your file, that'll be able to help. And net of all fees, so by more than 25% on average, net of all fees, save 25% or more off the total debt balance inclusive of program fees. So you're saving off the total amount too, and being able to have a reduction on that on top of the total monthly, like that's awesome, isn't it? Increased cash flow, have better liquidity, have better management, have better profits, availability, being able to take in projects that you couldn't have otherwise, or you could have, but it couldn't fulfill, it couldn't finish the job with the materials and supplies. You had to get a cheaper cost, and the cheaper cost manufactured product isn't normally the same. And you could have had that opportunity to capture a market, but you didn't do it or enough of. This is an over 90% approval rate. We also need your contracts to sign usually via DocuSign. They have a legalese in them that the legal team will use to reverse engineer and escape hatch for you potentially. Every time they all work 100% and are successful if you do what you're supposed to do. You don't do what you're supposed to do, like simple, hassle free, do it. Like it's there. Reread this if you have to go over it. Used for extending your repayment period, more common than just reducing your remaining balance. However, there's then a reduction of your balance in a bullet below, which can be less common at times, depending on many scenarios, which uh, what makes most sense is in your file too. And like I said earlier, every file is unique. Settlements usually involve a reduction because you will owe less than what you currently owe. But again, there's also an MCA restructure where it may be a reduction without settlement. Many factors are there to consider. And so it doesn't have to be a settlement where you got to do all that and you got to build enough into that account and then do this. Although with debt restructuring and settlement, it's normally in an escrow account. And this is legit. This isn't that like take that money and then go and pay the people pay the rent and they go on vacation. No, 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 no. In their own business. No, 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 no. This isn't that. Other places I won't you'll see that, but that doesn't happen here. Okay. That does not happen here. And so you'll see that uh, in MCA restructure, the remaining balance isn't necessarily reduced. Instead, your repayment term and terms are adjusted to make the debt much more manageable for you as the borrower. And here is how. You can also see differences there as well, but that's what you would see. And key points of restructuring in this case, and like you saw earlier, 25%, so to factor in there as well. Key points of restructuring in this case, your total debt stays the same. The MCA provider does not reduce the amount owed. For example, if it were 200,000, the focus is on adjusting repayment terms to fit the client's cash flow rather than reduction on the total remaining balance and balances. Although what you have in total debt, 25%, and then the total monthly. So it could vary. You will see differences on what could be reduced, what couldn't be reduced, what needs to be extended if that's better to do for what you have. If something's maturing, coming to age, if it's not. But like I said before, each situation is unique and there are many factors to consider. Even if the term extends, it will still help lower payments and improve cash flow in your business and will keep your business operational without defaulting if you haven't defaulted yet. So get lower daily monthly payments, which is a huge goal for improved and much more manageable cash flow. So there's more to this here with some examples. And I can go through this over and over, but I'm going to leave it at this. So if you see that in that plan, you see right there how it would work. Weeks is paid off, how much would be paid off, and how much would that be total paid per week, assuming that's your weekly repayment, multiplied by 52 weeks. And there's just a little bit more in details here with some numbers. And in conclusion, how much of a reduction? This one, 57.5% reduction. But if there's more, there's more. There's more space to do that and to protect your revenue. And it's in such a situation where that can be affordable, then okay, then you look at that. And step two, if and when the 25% is included, 25% savings here generally refers to a reduction in the total debt balance, including the program fees, is typically seen as a net savings as the client yourself, you potentially can expect to achieve after the MCA debt restructuring process, which includes the program fees. So, in other words, in the context of the 25% savings, it can mean that after your restructuring reduction, client you end up paying 25% less of the original debt balance and factoring in program fees, more or less on that side. Okay. And so here you see, here's more. There was this term, extending your term, total paid may be higher due to time added. Here's how to reduce the balance in your restructuring process without it being a settlement. And this is what I mean here. If you are current on your payment and payments, there's a strategy uh, to show relief and to show hardship. So the team can make a case that you aren't able to make a payment or you're on the verge of missing one, or if they go in that direction, which would make sense to, then having to do something more strategic. So this explains a little bit more in detail. I'm not advising you do that, but if you're in such a situation where you have no other choice, or it's like it's so bad, like the pain is so bad that you need to do it. And whatever happens when you're current on your payments and it reflects on your credit, like, okay, dropping this, but it's so bad in a position where you can't even, like, that has to happen. You shouldn't even negotiate that. Shouldn't even have to think about that. If it were me and I wanted to keep the business, it's so valuable and I don't want to bankrupt it or it's already there or on the verge of, and I want to keep this and it's helping me pay for my lifestyle or my freedom, my family, like all this stuff and more as your reputation and as it grows, having to start all over. So you have to consider that. And there's many more things too. So you see that right here. So reducing, having a reduction of your balance, having strategic restructuring negotiation, getting an advantage by leveraging the lender's risk, revised terms, sorry, this over here, and revised terms. So there's plenty more here that you'll see. And no minimum FICO score is needed. Like I said, no collateral needed and no new loans, no new rates or rates because this is not a new loan. If you needed a new loan and it made sense, can you qualify for it? Like I showed you right there. Side note, like what you can do outside of that if you didn't get an MCA debt restructure, but can you do it? Do you not want to do that? You have your assets tied and you can't liquidate them because of the type of asset and assets. You have projects in this you need to complete that you're saving for something else. So here's different situations. And how we do this is having a $30,000 total debt minimum in MCA debt and MCA like debt. That's because anything under that, it's going to still take a lot of work to do. It's not worth it most of the time. It doesn't work well. And it's too much effort and energy and time to do that. So 30,000 total minimum to meet for the restructuring. Also, by the way, if you need help on the personal debt side, and relief on that. I'll try to leave more information down below if there is any room. If you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else and I don't have that, that's fine. Or I might have it on this document. If not, that's okay. But there's also that side too to get relief from. So yeah, there's more there. And so in MCA debt and MCA like debt, such as other factor loan products like Blue Line, On Deck, Fundbox, Headway, etc., is needed for a debt restructuring or settlement. Doing less has no ROI, money in general, and all for all parties. The amount of work it takes does not make sense either to do less than that. So, depending on if it's a restructuring or a settlement, which makes most sense, what situation are you in now? What have you done? Restructuring, I would recommend most. If you have other business debt like credit cards, bank loans, tax liabilities, then the total of the debt would need to be 1 million or more for us to be able to help you, for me to be able to help you and to be able to get this restructured. Sometimes we can include the business credit card debt in the MCA restructure, but that will negatively impact your credit. If you are in pain though, you shouldn't care about that. Like I said earlier, you're in that situation. If I were there and I really wanted the bit, like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make the payments. When I'm on this program, I'm gonna graduate. No other second thought. Miss a payment here, but you work it out. Okay, great. But do it because the exit plan and everything outside of that, glory is right there. It's just waiting for you at the entrance. It's like when you are coming home from school as a little kid in the bus or being picked up at school. Woo, your backpack went through a hard day at school. And more importantly, you're just more relieved and happy to see your parent, to see your loved one and loved ones. Like, that's awesome. And no negative impact to your personal or business credit in many scenarios, no upfront out of pocket fees, quick and easy application process for you, customized offer, term sheet, closing call within 24 hours most of the time. So this isn't a high pressure scenario. If somebody has to sell you, I'm not a salesperson. You can say I've learned the marketing and sales, yes, but I'm not a salesperson. Heard a little bit about my background. I'm not. I'm not here to diddle daddy either. And be that person who's just chasing you. No, 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 no. I'm better than that. These people, no, they have a lot of problems they need to figure out, and I have other things to do. Truly, you really want the best help and you want me to help you unlike anybody else who will. Stick with me, grow with me. I'll help you grow. And not just in business, but in more ways. As a person, have more relief, have an increase in status, character. Here's the other debt we can restructure, determined on a case by case basis: government loans, vendor debt, all the way down to on any unsecured business debt and any secured business debt. Example, just give you some examples. The total debt enrolled in the program is 300 over 328,000. Okay. Payment terms, 35 weekly payments. Payment amount, 6,000 plus. First payment scheduled for debt balance savings of over 100,000. Very helpful, right? Debt balance savings over 100,000. And I would show you more of like what I've helped in people get relief and things like that. I have it somewhere else, posting some things. I think one of these, yeah, I sent an email once. Might be on my Facebook feed. I have to double check. And I put it somewhere else. And if it's not there, that's fine. But yes, I from time to time I'll post something and helping clients. And so let's say another example. So there's more there. And I just want to quickly show you at a glance without going through all of it because there's a little bit more to go through. And you can always come back and see this. So the plans are customized depending on your scenario. The shortest in terms you'll very likely get and what is seen is 6 months, although that's a rare occurrence. And lately, what's been seen, quite a few come in at 78 weeks, more or less, which is 1.5 years. So if you're in that situation where you have so much debt, like there's no way out of this in less than a year, so be it. Get through it. Get over yourself because this is bigger than you. This is something that you depend on, that you don't want to restart, or you're finally ready to get rid of it and go do something else. You learned your lesson and lessons, or you didn't have to learn a lesson. It's just like it happened. But most of the times, just people get themselves into this situation because of bad business decisions. The reason they are customized is that your bank statements are used to assess cash flow and then work with the merchant who is you. So cash flow, I'll look at this too. I'll understand it. Go with the team as well. See if I get a green light too, so we can bring you into the next step, which is a phone call with the principal. Very hassle free to hear more about what I've already discussed, more or less, but then even more help in understanding that this is the right fit. Otherwise, it doesn't move forward for you. And if it's supposed to move forward, yet you didn't do it, it's like I've heard it so many times. Just you're doing the opposite of what you should be doing. For what? And so the reason that they are customized is that your bank statements are used to assess cash flow. There's more. And then work with the merchant who is you to reverse engineer a payment amount, a payment number, and frequency of that payment and payment amount and amounts. If you have a couple businesses, that's cool too. I've helped out people too who have a couple businesses. And there's so much and then combined, and then what's the best scenario to lower their debt. Now here they're on this weekly plan or what's best most affordable to them. And yeah, you're going to get the help that you need for all this. Don't worry about that. Frequency that you are okay with and that your MCA lender and lenders will accept because that negotiation has to happen. There's no hardship in this. They've been making payments. So why should we even do this? Why are we even hearing from you? Like, why should we care to lower this? We will only lower this to this amount because they still owe us this, or we expect this to be paid over this time. And then all that is being handled. So what's being put in that escrow account can help pay for it. So there you go. And there's quite a bit more of that too. And it's very standard, hassle free. It's very legit and ethical, legal. And so right here, the 78-week reference below is common to see too, which I mentioned 1.5 years. There have been a few done that go out 36 to 48 months. So 3 or 4 years, although those are much larger and much more complicated files, it happens, but it's rare to go out that long. You'll see some lesser, 8 months, 7 months, 6 months plus, etc. But you get to see here what the scenario would look like. Also, you'll be set up, excuse me, for ACH auto withdrawal depending on the repayment schedule that works best for your business budget, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, never daily. Here's what can cause a decline in your restructuring, your settlement, account receivables, where you have a large company or companies you're getting paid from, like Amazon. Think Amazon FBA businesses, e-commerce, drop shipping, Shopify, especially on Shopify. I've seen so many, and a lot of people. unfortunately couldn't get help because your revenue isn't protected, or the majority of your revenue, over 50% of that goes towards, and it's all in one platform. So the processor, and then you're paying on the MCA debt, it's really hard to overcome that and find a solution for protecting your revenue when there's so much of it that's all focused on one platform and it's concentrated on it. And these bigger companies like Amazon, eBay, Airbnb, etc., Fortune 500 companies included, will honor your lien letters from the MCA companies. They don't want to be bothered. These are too big companies to be dealing with you. Small mom and pops usually won't. The bigger companies don't want to be bothered, so they usually honor the lien letters. So when a bigger company honors these, it can stop paying you, the business owner, and your business, and completely. So you're wiped out, and even quicker wiped out, which means you'll lose a lot, if not all of your revenue, and that can't be protected by the team. So there's not a good case to be made. And by doing this, there's not enough revenue that can be dropped or enough restructuring. And it just doesn't work with a lot of companies like this. So what I always tell people is there's other situations to look at. Those don't work. Hey, maybe bankruptcy is the best option. When you've exhausted, you've gone through every single thing. What type of bankruptcy? I'm not going to get into all that now. Or reorganization of assets, which oftentimes you don't need that to start up, and then maybe you're not the sole business owner for a year or so, if that's the case or not. But that doesn't make sense. And if you don't have enough assets, you're not that big of a company. Like, why? And that's not always the best thing to do. And why do it? And the funder in this case has legal right to send out lien letters to customers, but the customers have no legal obligation. So think about it. Who are your customers? Are you in a government service, in a public sector, private company, large, or yeah, large corporation? And no, your customers can't be bothered because it'll signal a red flag, and then now your customers won't be loyal, or then they're going to go somewhere else, your competition. They'll drop you altogether. They'll find out. Like, I get that. Other times, it's not like they'll be bothered. They won't be bothered for that. And again, but the customers have no legal obligation. So it just depends. And again, at the end of the day, you're needing relief. Credit card processor to point of sales, ordering system to not change. Credit card processors can't help franchises into credit card systems. Shopify is an example in e-commerce and online businesses where they have everything tied to Shopify. So here, read more, please. I'm not going to go through all of this, but you see more right here. So go through all this, make sure you do. I hope this makes sense. So not being able to change your processor could do a lot more damage to your business. And then like changing in this flowing into a new bank account. It could be a whole separate bank, or if possible, the same one, but you'll oftentimes see another bank, or it could be the same one with another account, but they'll even be able to tell and see those things. Other times they may not. However, it's protected, and the security instruments, the layering, what they can and can't do at that point, to what they need to go after in accounts. So keep that in mind as you go through this. With all that said, it's still best you get to the payment analyst steps so they can see everything more, and they can discuss with you more and more questions you may ask at that stage, because they have that and they have all the resources to be able to help answer you. So doing all that, and you get to go through this process for free, do it. And I would commit to doing this and getting my debt restructured if I really, really was in this position, not having to think twice about it. Process to relief, and I kind of already went through this with you. So there's just at a glance strategy, monitoring, MCA exit. Once your debt is fully paid off, you will get help to make sure you make a smooth exit transition from your program. From this graduation from the program, you can then be provided with all of the necessary tools and great resources to help you continue managing your cash flow and ensuring that your business can remain successful long term. And just keep in mind, there's some things, of course, that I can't get through everything here, and things that are not on here too that I can say more of or expand on what's already on here, but everything is here for the most part. It's already here. It's just like you need this is it's all there to make enough of an educated decision. It's all here. And yes, there are sequences and things for debt and managing the debt this way versus that way, uh, escrow and being able to pay off your provider and providers and they're happy with what they're getting. Okay. So monitoring, MCA exit, strategize with you. And before that, collect documents. I'll review it with the team. If there's a green light to move forward, we can do so. See how simple that is? It's not a hassle like other processes out there, and I've seen others. And that's what really sets everything apart. It's not just the process, but who you're getting as a person. Not just what I know and how I know how to do things, my connections, big time connections, multi-million dollar connections, billion-dollar connections with people. It's because of who I am as a person. Like I don't talk much as it is. I'm the one who's the workhorse. I'm pulling the strings behind the scenes a lot of the time. And I'm pulling that behind people's businesses, helping them in my own and what I do. So it's what I prefer to do a lot of in review financials. Also, you can get other processes out there where it's not so deep. You don't get all of the best team or any of it. You don't get the best care and relationships to build and build on. So I truly believe the way to go is this way. And I have, again, your best interest at heart for this. So note one, note two, avoid other companies and scenarios. And I give you a bit of what goes on out there. Exception and strategy if you're current on your payments. Again, covering that. For debt relief, the fees, why do fees matter? Like people ask in I've had people, well, the fees, if it's 5 to 10, 5 to 15%, more or less. So like I'm getting my debt relieved. That's the primary focus and goal. It's not about a fee. And sometimes to some people it is because of some things they need to plan for or have. But there's other things in the business that if they would have reshaped, they wouldn't be thinking about a fee. And that's the mindset most people have. It's not about a fee. That if that's what it came down to, there are more problems. So there's a little bit more details here. Why not off the MCA savings and the total debt of the MCA, then the debt of the MCA, excuse me. So there's more there. Documents needed, debt restructuring application, debt restructuring business debt schedule, income projection form. That might not be needed anymore. Some things were at a time added and then removed, so you can see this look different, and this likely would not be needed, but I had this here. And so I can always send you an email with the documents I'll need fully. If things change, things get added. Copy of all signed funding contracts and how to locate them. It's all right here. And I can send this again to you in the email. Don't worry. I got all that. So you can see it again. And once these DR items are received, we will review the file and get back to you as fast as possible to let you know what the next step is to keep moving this forward, as we want to help alleviate your financial pain as quickly as possible. Remember, over 90% of these files do get approved. If interested, fill out my MCA funding form like you see right here. Fill this out, get it going. Let me review. Let me email you back. Yes, okay. Let me then respond with my documents. Here's the documents. Here's the attachments, unless I did that in the beginning with one email. Okay. Oh, but I'm 20 days later. I don't even want to hear from you. I went on vacation and no, nice. And you are that person who is like that? No. Now, if there's a plausible, reasonable reason, okay. But making up an excuse over and over, I don't have the energy and time. I don't want to work with people like that. Like people who have MCA debt, I'm not saying are always this way, and I mean this with like I mean this sincerely. This is not me being mean, but a lot of people who have debt like this can be very bad, like people and business. Like I don't believe I deserve that. Like I shouldn't even be doing this, but I want to help you, and I can just go do my other stuff and not have to focus on funding at all. Period. I don't need it like that, but I want to help you, and I know I can help you. When I see what else is out there, I'm like, the alternatives, and no, no, estas personas, these people, no. I would never want to be close to them or want to work with them. I just mind my own business. I don't even mess with people, really. I just keep to myself and I work and I show it through my work. It speaks for itself. And so if interested, you can fill out the form, additional resources, and you can learn more about my story right there. Follow me on. So I have things like that. So I hope this video was of value to you and you understand now what is on this table that you can feast on, have your entree, your appetizer, your entree, your dessert couple of desserts, putting it all on display here at the table, at the roundabout table, just you. You can pick out have all the food you want, have the waiters come in and serve you more, and I'm not trying to fluff you up or anything like that. I just want to make sure that you eat well and you have what you have so that you can also feed others. And if you so choose to, what you have on that table, give to someone else so they can be fed, so their family can be fed. There you go too. And you're able to help people in your company and more, and they can keep their job. They can keep their role. They can keep helping you and keep helping you show up to be the best business owner and entrepreneur that you are. If you're just business owner, not every business owner is an entrepreneur, but entrepreneur, now we're up another level. We think different. We disrupt industry norms. We go against the grain. We're visionary. We're integrators. I'm more of an integrator, but I'm very visionary too. And we see opportunities that most people don't see, and we act on it. And we keep doing this market share, market volume, market product fit, product market fit, a market analysis, breaking this down, these numbers, reverse engineering this number to make my margin here better, to dissolve this, to increase my new customer acquisition costs on this ad channel or not an ad channel, but I'm doing this. This is my funnel process. This is where they start. Here's where they go through phase one, phase two, phase three, order of operations. Here's what we need to fix next. Boom, done. So that's all for me. I know there was more that I could have covered in this video. Go through this document, and if it looks a little bit different, somewhat different, may have added, subtracted to, but go ahead, pick this up. If you're watching this here, click right here. If you're not on this page yet, go on this page, or if it looks something different, you might see something different. You can see things that are up above here, but don't get distracted by that. If I remove it, I remove it, but go through this, fill it out. It'll land in my inbox. It is not an application again. It is in your best interest to do this. And what did I say in the beginning? Let's be energy and time efficient. Hey, if I'm asking for a lot, I hear you because I know when I got started, and what is this guy talking about? Like when you operate at a higher level, mindset, spirit, faith, and more, you work on yourself, habits, routines, to be the best that you can, to show up the best that you can for people in a business, you'll understand. And energy and time efficiency at the end of the day. How can we slim down, make this process much slimmer? How can I make this with more or less volume? But then how impactful would this be? Like I'm always thinking about these things. So that's what I wanted to go over. And I also have other forms and stuff for like when you need funding to fill out, or I might already have a document ready for you. So when you're ready to get started, you'll have that. And I can send you, like in this document, you could see a hyperlink for the bank term loan. And you can pick that up, or I can send it to you in an email separately. I'm more than happy to show you things that are not all publicly released and you won't always find out there. I'm very transparent. Go to my channel. You're already watching here. Go to my other videos. You'll see often sometimes lately I've been creating a little stuff on you don't have to have the business you have. An online business is recommended, and here are the reasons. And I always recommend that you do. Or if you have somebody who wants to start that, I've had people bring me people who like their spouse, their girlfriend, boyfriend, their son, like they want to do something different. I can help you. And yeah, you'll see the valuable content that I have and you just don't see anywhere like that, like how open I am to share with you things that I'm sharing and the experiences. So uh, all that said and done, thank you for watching. I'm gonna go fish now. I'm kidding. I'm gonna go. This introvert needs to go and because all this energy, it's been a long day already after doing other things. Hope you can understand and when I'm bringing you and I'm gonna go relax, go shower, lay down on the bed for a little bit just to recalibrate this and show up for you again in the best way possible. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with others who will need help. Like, feel free actually to share this if you can. You don't have to, but take it onto your Facebook profile, put it on your TikTok, or okay, that's maybe too much of a long form video to put it on. But different platforms, if you need to just share it with a friend, family member, or somebody you don't know who needs the help, like, hey, I am getting help with them. He's helped me. I saw this. I will need it later, but I can help this person. And just even if you don't know who they are, and somebody will hear it, somebody could see it, and that's all it took. Like that person was looking for the right person, because you won't always find the right person in this space. There's, like I said, there's a lot of people who I don't trust 99% of. Like not trust is a strong word to use because there are many people that can be trusted. It's just characters. It's just I would not outside of this ever want to like be around them. A lot of them, like most of them. There's some here and there that yeah, they could be tuned up a little bit or they can have better character, but they are a good person and they mean well. So I see all those things. I'm telling you that what you're getting here is the best thing you will be getting. So everything will be down below in the description. Please click the link to go over here unless you're already here. Fill this out. My email will be in the description. If I have anything in the comments, check that out. If you have any questions, leave me something in the comments. If there's room where there's that, you can say so. But get started, go in here, fill this out, and I will talk to you soon. I'll email you soon, talk to you soon. And yeah, thank you for watching and talk to you later. Bye.